Years ago, few were thinking that an effort to stop those flames from ever starting had been stymied for more than a decade. But that's just the frustrating scenario Representative Tom McClintock saw setting up as that town was destroyed and South Lake Tahoe was evacuated. The Sierra at Tahoe Ski Resort was heavily damaged and 21 people were hurt while the Caldor fire raged on. Now he's pushing for the kind of change to forest management that he believes can keep a fire like that from happening in the future. Congressman Tom McClintock with me now live from his district in Elk Grove. Congressman, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
First, I have to ask about your colleague from the other chamber and fellow Republican Mitch McConnell. Have you spoken with him since he froze up and stopped talking during his press conference last Wednesday? And how do you feel about presidential candidates like Republican Nikki Haley pointing to that situation as reason for health and competency checks and an age cap to be instituted to serve in Congress?
Well, people age at different rates. No, I first of all, I've not talked to Mitch McConnell since that episode. But obviously, people elected him knowing he was old, as they did Dianne Feinstein and Joe Biden. People age at different rates, and ultimately, I think the voters are best equipped to judge whether or not they believe that a candidate has the qualities to represent them at whatever age. Remember, Ronald Reagan was at the time the oldest person to ever occupy the White House, and he was one of our greatest presidents.
And so you disagree with what Nikki Haley has been talking about then lately?
I do.
Okay. H.R. 188, your Proven Forest Management Act, recently passed the House Natural Resources Committee and is headed to the House floor. Now, this measure is all about extending policy that's been at work in the Tahoe Basin, streamlining the process for tree thinning for the entire national forest system. You say that thinning that had been allowed actually helped stop the unwieldy Caldor fire and basically save South Lake Tahoe?
Yes, we got that authority back in 2016, but we had to limit it to the Tahoe Basin. All of that excess timber is going to come out of the forest. The only question is whether we carry it out or nature ends up burning it out, but it will come out. For many, many decades, we sent U.S. Forest Service foresters into the forest. They'd mark off the surplus timber. Then we'd auction it to logging companies that would pay us to remove the timber. A quarter of those revenues from the federal timber auctions went directly into our local governments. The other 75% went back into the forest. But we started passing laws in the 1970s that make forest thinning endlessly time-consuming and ultimately cost-prohibitive. It now takes an average of 4.5 years to approve a forest thinning project. The EIR alone is over 800 pages. And the cost is millions and millions of dollars. So instead of making money off of federal timber harvests, we end up losing money. So not a lot of that happens. We got an exemption for that for the Tahoe Basin. It's a categorical exclusion for forest thinning projects up to 10,000 acres. That's taken the approval time from 4.5 years down to a few months. It's taken the environmental impact statement from more than 800 pages down to a few dozen pages. It has tripled the territory treated in the Tahoe Basin, and one of those tracts is what the Caldor fire hit on its way to South Lake Tahoe. It lay down, and firefighters were able to put it out. Unfortunately, that authority doesn't extend anywhere else, so Grizzly Flat was completely wiped out by the same fire because for a decade we've been trying to get the trestle project through. But it was constantly held up by litigation arising from those same environmental laws. So this bill simply takes a proven process and extends it nationally. And I'm hoping very much that we'll be able to get that rolled into the Farm Bill next month.
All righty, let me go over some of the numbers that you just brought up in terms of the pages of these reports and the years that it takes to do these reviews. Now, you can't get a forest back in a snap once something has happened. So some people would say we could be making a mistake. We could be causing more harm than good with a streamlined process that you had just described. What would you say to those folks?
I'd say we've tried it their way and it doesn't work. These environmental laws were passed 50 years ago with the promise they'd improve the forest environment. I think we're entitled to ask today, well, how are the forests doing? And the answer is damning. We're seeing a record of acreage destroyed by catastrophic fire because we've stopped carrying out that excess timber and nature has returned to burn it out. And nature doesn't care that it takes more than 100 years for a forest to regrow. It has the time. We human beings decided we want to preserve our forests from generation to generation, and we did so very effectively until the environmental left made a mess of that proven strategy. And the result we see every summer is these catastrophic fires return to the Sierra Nevada.
Just quickly before we get off the subject of wildfire, when do you expect this to come to a House floor vote?
Well, the Farm Bill is going to be taken up, I believe, in September. If we can get it rolled into that, it's going to make the process a lot easier.
All righty. Now, you chaired the Immigration Subcommittee of the House Judiciary Committee, and last week there was a grilling of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas based on what's happening at the southern border. We've got the Texas governor dumping busloads of migrants in California, the federal government suing him over a buoy barrier he's placed in the Rio Grande. Mayorkas and others say the situation is actually improving. Do you instead see impeachment coming for him?
Well, those are two separate questions. No, it's not improving. They're hiding it. Instead of these masses coming illegally through the southern border, they're simply bringing them in through ports of entry. Their mass parole program went into effect. They expect to admit an additional 540,000 illegal migrants just this next year as a result of that. So they haven't improved the situation. In fact, I think they're making it worse. The fact is, our borders were secure when Donald Trump left office. The Remain in Mexico policy has slowed illegal migration to a trickle. The border wall was nearing completion. We were enforcing court-ordered deportation orders. Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, the very first day, came in and reversed all of those policies. And the result is the worst illegal mass migration in the history of this, or as far as I know, any country. And the impact that's having on schools, on our public hospitals, on our homeless situation, on our social safety net, on labor wages for working families, as well as crime as the cartels follow these migrants into our towns and cities, is catastrophic. So as far as impeachment of Mayorkas is concerned, that's a separate issue. That impeachment is limited to treason, bribery, or other high crimes or misdemeanors. Alejandro Mayorkas is guilty as sin of neglect of his duties, malfeasance, and maladministration. But those three grounds were specifically rejected by the American founders as grounds for impeachment at the Constitutional Convention. So we have to hew to the Constitution on that. The fact is, he's simply carrying out administration policy. And if people are wondering how we have gotten to that situation, the fact of the matter is, if you voted for Joe Biden and the Democrats, this is exactly what you voted for. And if you're surprised by that, you just weren't paying much attention.
Congressman, we're going to have to put a pin in it. There's so many issues. We'll be catching back up with you about this issue and about your fire prevention legislation in the future. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Nasri, thanks so much for having me.